Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And I know you feel the fall weather outside, but just because it's fall doesn't mean that we're not thinking about things coming up in the spring. Really excited to welcome back to the program Jason Vacheron, the event chair for Relay for Life. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate it. Joining him is Lori Watts, the Associate Director for Development for the American Cancer Society out of New Orleans. Thank you for joining us, Lori.
Hello, thank you for having me.
And one of our favorite people ever. We love having Christy on because she says her name 6 different ways, and then she corrects you when you don't say it the perfect way. So Miss Christy Budlash is here. How you like that? Huh?
You got it.
She is with Voices of Hope in the American Cancer Society. Christy, we're glad you're here as always.
Thank you.
And so, Jason, one of these things that we always like to talk about is the value of what gets done all year long. Relay for Life is not just something we think about in March, it's something we think about in April. We think about it all year long. But you guys have done a whole lot, and we're moving forward. And we've got our kickoff coming up.
We got our kickoff. So we are officially launching our 2023 Relay for Life year. A lot of people see the Relay for Life that's in April and maybe think that's all we do, but we're starting now. We're going to be getting things together. You know, theme, everything that we do in April starts now. And so we had a great year last year. We raised over $300,000. So I want to really thank our community, our sponsors, our volunteers, everybody that came together to raise that amount of money during Ida, after COVID, is just truly amazing. And so,
And you say that so cavalier, like we raised 307. Jen, put that back up there, because I mean, you can't really disregard $293 raised by little old Terrebonne Parish for Relay for Life. But Relay for Life in Terrebonne Parish is one of the biggest in the state.
one of the largest in the country, actually.
That's
Yeah.
exactly where I was going with that.
A lot of people try to
Largest in the
replicate
country.
what we do here because we raise so much money for the region we're in, the area we're in, and you know, cancer touches all of us, and that's why we're here today talking about cancer and being a survivor and fighting through and everything that's going on. And so right now you can actually go to the website. It's www.relayforlife.org/TerrebonneLA, and your team can sign up. You can start your fundraising and getting things together. We had a late start last year due to Ida.
Right.
So we're getting it kicked off now, and we're getting ready for both Lip Sync Battles coming back on March 31st at the Municipal Auditorium, and then on April 22nd at the Civic Center of 2023, we will have the next Relay for Life.
So some really wonderful things. And again, we talk about how it happens all year long. Lori, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you guys do. And we're just glad for all the support from Relay and through New Orleans.
Yeah, thank you again for having me. So the American Cancer Society throughout the country has various types of fundraisers. Relay for Life is one of the longest running fundraisers that the American Cancer Society has, over 35 years. And what these fundraisers enable us to do at the American Cancer Society is to fund cancer research grants, also to fund support programs within the community. So if someone in the community needs help, if they've just recently been diagnosed, we have our cancer.org website. We also have our 1-800 number that people can call in order to be connected with a cancer information specialist. That sounds like a very simple thing, but that's a major resource, especially when someone is first diagnosed, is to be able to call that 1-800 number and be connected with the resources within their community. So that is just part of what we do. And then also throughout their cancer journey, we're also able to provide other resources within the community, like if someone needs to be connected with another survivor, let's say, so that they can be mentored through their cancer journey. We're able to partner them with survivors to help them go through their cancer journey and their process.
Well, we've got one of our heroes sitting at the end of the table who can tell us exactly about that. And so, Christy, your story's been pretty unique, but what you've done to shoulder the responsibility of really standing up for, taking care of, and listening to other survivors is the most unique part about that. And so, have you ever called the number that Lori talks about?
No, I never called the number, but I have also directed people to call that number.
Yeah.
And some of my friends in Alabama were able to contact that number, and they were able to use the Hope Lodge. So, you know,
Very
I
cool.
advocate for any type of cancer,
Right.
no matter who they are.
Right.
With her being a cancer survivor herself and just being named the Voice of the Hope is amazing for our area.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and the recognition of that and how you felt when you got named it.
When I got nominated, I was shocked. I was like, "Oh, who did it? Who did it?" But found out that it was Ann Bates who nominated me. And then once I started getting emails, they were explaining the Voices of Hope, and it's basically I will be going around telling my story and advocating for what I believe in, and that's getting second diagnosis, sometimes even getting a third opinion of your diagnosis.
Right. And just being able to really kind of power through, if you will, and to be able to have it with a spirit like you have. It's
Exactly.
infectious. I got to tell you, it's one of those things. People have trouble not smiling when they're with you, and that's just one of those things that I think to being a voice of hope means you are one of those people. You've been able to figure out through this process for yourself. Just a lot of people who look to you and go, you know what? If I get cancer, I want to do it like that. I want to be able to handle it like that. So you're not only that voice of hope, but you're that representation for people who kind of walk around. And it happens at Relay, which is one of our favorite times, right? Which was just a wonderful time. And so really enjoyed being with you and out there with you and talking with you as we were able to do that live with HTV. Very glad to do that. But you truly do give that voice of hope for other people. And that's what American Cancer Society is about. And so we're really glad for what you do in your journey. Lori, we're really glad for what you do in your work and trying to bring that purpose to people and bring that help to people. Jason, tell us a little bit about some of the things that the money that is raised here goes to a lot of different places. But more importantly, it comes back here as we try to help people. And we've got some important months coming up.
Yeah. So when you talk about the money, when you look at since 1946, American Cancer Society has sent back over $20 million to the state of Louisiana for research. And so one of the reasons why we're here today is to talk about the fact that September was Prostate Cancer Awareness Month and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so we got some information on, getting screened and information that you should take advantage of to make sure that your, screening is key. It's catching it early or trying to catch it before it even happens. But you can see right here the information about prostate cancer. And again, with that being the September Awareness Month and breast cancer being the October Awareness Month, make sure you get checked. Everybody knows the ages that you should start getting checked for these things. And this is what we're here to promote today.
And again, right there, you can see that it affects different cultures in different ways. Prostate cancer screening truly is saving lives. And so the average age of men diagnosed with prostate cancer is 66. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't start getting checked when you're in your 40s. And so going to get those checked in your 40s, check it again when you're 50s. And Jason, as soon as you and I get to that age,
Yes,
we'll do
time,
that.
a little time.
We'll do that. But so very important. And again, it's one of those things that matters a great deal. When people donate money and they give money in certain areas, when they're raising money, they want to know where it goes. And so that's a very powerful number. The $20 million has come back to the state of Louisiana for research. And the research and screening, those are the two ways that we can kind of identify what to do, and screenings to figure out who it needs to help and how that happens. Right, Lori?
Definitely, yeah. And early detection is really what's key. So if someone has a predisposition to prostate cancer within their family, the recommendation is actually to start getting screened at 40, like you had said. Someone who does not have that predisposition, 50 is the average age. And as was mentioned earlier, 66 is the average age of diagnosis. So it's being aware of your family history, and it's talking about that within the community and raising that awareness to get people to those screenings, because as we know with any cancer, early detection is the key to being able to battle that cancer. So that's really why these awareness months are so important. It's very much about getting the awareness out there, people knowing what those screening guidelines are, telling their friends, talking about it within their community. And that's why Relay for Life is essential in communities like this to share that information.
Yeah, and we can find out if somebody's got stage 1 or stage 2 or even stage 3 prostate cancer very much more easily treated if we catch it early, and then we can prevent early or untimely deaths for that. It's the same with breast cancer. If we can make sure we're aware of that. October is a big celebration month. I think that we probably have come a long way in our awareness because of breast cancer, because it affects so many people. So Jen, put that flyer back up there. I'm not going to say it. I'll let Lori or Christy say it. Christy, what are we going to be doing?
It's a challenge called Grab Your Girls.
And go get screened.
Yep. Grab your girlfriends. Go get your mammograms. And do it even before the recommended age.
Yeah, because we know we have those outliers, right? If there's a history, if there's any history in your family, go and do that. Or during self-exams, if you identify anything that's abnormal, go get it checked out. It's just really, really important to be able to do. And so we like to celebrate. It's one of those things that we do well down in our area. We need to be able to celebrate screenings. We need to be able to celebrate the opportunity to have those. You know, Lori, it's one of those things we didn't mention, but there's a lot of places that don't have screenings. There's a lot of areas that don't have the opportunity. We have that. It's available to be able to do that, to get screenings.
Exactly. Yeah. And also to plug this again, but our 1-800 number, which is 1-800-227-2345. We'll make sure that y'all have that on your website so anybody can access that as well, or visiting cancer.org. If someone has questions about maybe they have a family history and they want to know how to get the proper testing, like maybe it's a young woman or young man who has breast cancer that runs in their family and they want to know, when can I get started? How do I get that screening? How do I get access? The 1-800 number is a resource, and cancer.org is a resource as well, in order to educate yourself and to have the most accurate information on how you can not only get your treatment or get your diagnosis, but then also treatment as well.
Well, and you know, that number's a resource. Y'all are a resource to the state, but we have people like Christy, who's a resource for anybody who may need it. And so being a part of Voices of Hope, it's so important for people to realize that there are others who have a similar situation, or there's not a whole lot of people that can say, I know how you feel. But when somebody gets diagnosed with breast cancer, you can say, yes, I know exactly how you feel. And that's been one of your messages, right?
Exactly. My message is to inspire people to see what I went through personally, and I never lost hope. So I don't want anyone to ever give up.
Right. They can't lose hope because there's always a possibility of something, right?
Exactly.
That's what the research is about. So, Jason, we appreciate all your efforts as a volunteer doing this as a chair for Relay for Life. Thanks for starting early. And thank God that we don't have a storm or COVID to prevent us from being able to start early. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it touches all of us, you know, and our theme, you know, we're looking around this year being around survival. As far as the hurricane, as far as cancer, you know, we are survivors. We will survive. We are resilient, and you got to fight the fight. And we're here to help people find the way and work through the journey of fighting cancer.
And we appreciate it. Lori, thank you for everything you do every day. Christy, thanks for being a survivor and being a representative of what other people need to hear. We appreciate it. Thank y'all
Never
for
lose
joining
hope.
us. That's right. Fight like a girl. And that will do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more Bayou Time when we continue.